Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Dr. Matt, ZPT, and it's Tuesday, so that means it's time for your movement tip. Now, this movement tip is going to dovetail really nicely with the mobility tip from yesterday, where we tried to release some of the upper trap tension that you might have been feeling from stress or overuse. This is going to be an exercise I call the Yoga Scapula series, and I really like this because it's going to engage all your parascapular or shoulder blade muscles to allow for better shoulder stability. So specifically, we're going to be working on getting scapular elevation, depression, and then protraction, retraction. So I'm going to take you through what each of the different movements are going to look like. We're going to be going through downward dog, plank position, or the top of a push-up, and then upward facing dog. Okay? I'm going to go through and show you what each of these positions look like, and then we're going to go into the mechanics of what I want you to be thinking about as we're engaging specific muscles. Okay? So here we go. So downward dog. Hips are going to go high, pushing back into the hamstrings and the glutes, head coming through the shoulders. And from the front, it looks like this. Many of you are probably familiar with what a normal plank looks like, or top of the push-up. That's just going to be this way. Rib cage down, belly tight, butt squeeze, legs together, nice flat back. I don't want to see any arching or any over pressing with high hips. And the final one is going to be upward dog, okay? It's going to be laying flat on the floor, pressing through the hands, and coming up into the low back here. So the key with this one though is keeping your butt engaged and the rib cage down. It's going to keep our spine safe. Just like this. Now, with each of these different movements, we're going to be doing what are called straight arm scapula push-ups. So essentially what I want you to think about is almost like you're hugging a telephone pole. So your arms are actually coming out like this, reaching forward. It's the same principle for each of these positions. And I want you to think about with your hands too, I'm going to back up here so you can see them on the screen, is actually pushing and rotating through. So we're getting internal rotation out of the humerus here, which is going to engage our pec and our lat back here and shut off the upper trap. So for example, with a down dog position, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to push yourself up into the position and then think about pushing your hands into the ground and screwing your hands counterclockwise. So we're going to be spinning this way into you. So the elbows are actually spinning back. See how that's working? You're going to come down. Hands are pushing in, elbows spinning back. And we're going to push with just straight arms, which is going to engage all of our scap muscles. So that is specifically going to be your scapula elevation and depression. And then with the push-up position here, you'll get a better idea of it. So sinking into the scap, so you're pulling towards your spine, and then pushing out into the ground, almost like you're trying to hug that telephone pole. What we're going to do is get 10 repetitions at each position, so that's 10 at down dog, 10 at up dog, and 10 at the plank or the top of the push-up position, and that'll be one set. We're going to go through that 3 times. That's going to get us 30 repetitions at each movement. I want you to focus on holding the contraction at the top for about 2 seconds with each repetition. Believe me, your whole entire shoulder area here is going to be burdened by the time you're done with this. But you're also going to have much more stable shoulders at the same time. Hope you guys enjoyed this tip. Look back next week for your next Movement Tip Tuesday. Take care, everybody.